If you saw my last video, I did a mini breakdown on former Army sniper Nick Irving. In the video, I spoke a little bit about his time at sniper school. This piqued my interest as I never knew that was a thing. So I did the research for anyone interested in learning about it and for those who may be interested in enlisting but don't like reading or doing research. We're not going to go through everything as we will be here forever, but this can hopefully give you a little focus and know what to expect as of now. Again, as I mentioned in my last video, sniper school isn't just about learning how to shoot. At the point you enter sniper school, you should already know how to shoot. It's more about the technical aspects of sniping, marksmanship, range estimation, target detection, and stalking. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of everything, I'm going to explain what those 4 categories I mentioned means for those who don't know. Marksmanship is pretty simple to understand. It's just talking about skill. Remember, sniper school isn't about learning how to shoot, it's honing the skills you should already have. So, you're basically going to be tailoring everything from your stance, alignment, sight picture, trigger pressure, and follow through. Range estimation. Another thing that's exactly what it sounds like. It's an estimated distance between you and the target. There are some different techniques used to estimate range, which we're going to go through now. The 100-meter unit of measure. You're basically just imagining how many American football fields are between you and your target. This is considered low-tech and you would only really use it when you're in a new area and then refine it by using a more accurate method before you take the shot if you have time. Next is the appearance of object method. This is determining range by the size and characteristic details of the object. For example, you know you're most likely within 200 meters of a target if you can see everything in clear detail. For example, their equipment/skin color. And the further away you go, the less detail you'll see. For instance, by the time you hit 600 meters, you'll only see a body wedge shape with no head. This method allows you to be pretty accurate without technology. Bracketing is one of the more time-consuming methods. It's done by mathematically determining the nearest points of interest and target distance by eye without the help of technology. This process is long and you have to be sure you're correct when doing this. It's also a very advanced method and there are other factors that you need to know before attempting this, such as having good knowledge of the area. Next up is range form. This method is usually used on a predetermined form but can be done as an overlay on a panoramic sketch. It's also used on long-term ops and with more than one team of observers in the same location. Laser range finder is highly accurate and used for many teams, but you need to have an understanding of pulse patterns and algorithm to confirm correctness of distance. You basically aim device center mass on target, press the range button, and log the reading. Mil relation formula is taking the height of the target in inches, multiplying it by a constant, and then dividing it by the number of mils read on the scope. Mil is short for milliradians, which is a unit of measure which are presented by the hash marks inside the scope, which allows you to determine the winds that affect your shot. And finally, the combination method, which again is exactly how it sounds. It's using more than one method to compare and confirm accuracy to get the shot. However, it is time consuming. Target detection is being able to identify targets of opportunity. You must be able to dissect your area of operation through observation, your naked eye, and rifle scope. Stalking. We went over this a little in my last video. It's getting close enough to the enemy without being detected in order to take your shot. You have to learn how to blend in with your surroundings and sneak into an area and then sneak back out of that area without being detected. This section is extremely difficult and causes most of the failure rate in sniper school. Before you're able to become an Army sniper, you do have to put in some time doing other positions or in the field. You have to be proven to be able to handle yourself in a crisis and be a team player. You have to pass a psychological evaluation and a fitness test, as you will have to be able to not only carry your rifle for long periods, but also have to carry it under extreme conditions. You will also have to move further and carry much more heavy equipment than the average soldier. You will also have to lay in uncomfortable positions for long periods of time, which will require conditioning and discipline. One of the instructors, called Morin, said, "Most of the students who are dropped from the sniper course have failed because of their lack of discipline. Students must pay attention to the smallest details in every subject of the course and grasp the training concepts taught here at our school. Discipline is especially needed because a portion of your training will be done in extreme weather conditions, and if you can't train your mind, you won't have the ability to focus and pay attention to detail, which is a sniper's #1 job after knowing that you're there to save lives. You must also be aware that sometimes you won't take a shot. You'll just be doing recon and providing surveillance due to your ability to pay attention. So if that's something you struggle with, start working on that now so it'll be one less thing you have to worry about during training. Being an expert with the M4 carbine and receiving a recommendation letter are also qualifications needed for graduation, so proving you're able to take initiative without prompting can go a long way. You need to be able to think on your feet and keep up with the doctrine that always updates. Dope, or date on previous engagement, is another thing you will be learning, and this is basically taking the different variables to inform you of how to adjust your rifle to hit the target. Movers training is another big part of shooting. This is where you will practice shooting at a moving target. A few of your peers will hold the target and begin walking, and you will have to shoot and hit the right target. This will help you get in the mindset of shooting in the real world, as your target will hardly ever be still. You will have to learn how to determine the factor in target speed in mils in order to determine where to aim or lead your shot, and of course determine when to decipher whether to add or take away mils. Next up is ghillie suits. You will have to learn how to construct one that will blend in with your environment. You use natural vegetation and can make it out of anything you want as long as it's undetectable. This portion is heavily inspected at least 3 times to ensure your suit is up to standard and to guide you on what needs to be changed if it isn't, and does include a lot of sewing and durability. Your suit will be tested during what's called a ghillie wash. This breaks in the suit, adds color to it, and tests it under pressure. This test includes crawling through a 200-foot long trench filled with water, making your way over walls and heights while maintaining your anonymity. You want to construct your suit to be so durable that it has the potential to last your entire military career. In the range estimation test, you must be within 5% of the actual distance and accurately record 14 out of 20 ranges to pass. If you fail, you have one more opportunity to pass, or you will fail the course. You will not always be in a position where you have technology to help you, so you must be able to do it in the absence of technology. In the target detection test, you must be able to pick up on anomalies using your eyes, scopes, and binoculars. You will be given 40 minutes to search for objects in a 10,000 square foot meter field. You must locate and record at least 7 anomalies. It's recommended that you don't try to find them and just scan the area, as the human eye can recognize disruptions and patterns. You will be taught scan techniques to help with this. If you fail, you will be dropped. Let's get to the stalking. You're going up against your highly trained instructors, and you're tasked with getting within 300 meters of their position, identifying where they're at, making a shot after identifying them, and getting back out unseen. The instructors will be walking around the area, and some will be watching through binoculars to try and spot you. During training, you will be able to have another chance if you're spotted, but you will be docked and you will be moved back as far as possible to start over. It's also important not to get too close to the target, because you will have to set up for the shot and record a scenario of what your targets are doing in a salute report and a call for fire request. You then have to identify 2 letters held up by observers or targets, which will most likely be one and the same. You also have to get back out without being detected. You'll have 3 opportunities to pass, and if you don't, you will be dropped. This is where most people fail, so it's important to go into this training not thinking you will be able to pass with flying colors, because the area has lots of vegetation. You must also remember that your instructors are highly trained and not only have seen it all, but they know the area like the backs of their hand. So be smart, be tactical, and use the training they taught you. Also, do not go into the sun. That causes your body to cast a shadow. It also causes a light on your optical. Think when you're playing Call of Duty and you can see where a sniper is, because you see that little glimmer of light that shines. Finally, it can blind you from your shot. That way, you won't be able to take the shot. This isn't everything you're going to learn. This is just a rough overview, as I'm sure they're not going to make all the training public. Also, by the time you get into the course, some things could have changed, as the way things are done will be adjusted by new technology and new ideas that could be proven to work better as our species evolves. If you're planning on trying to become a sniper, make sure you learn as much as you can and try to train yourself in areas you think you'll have trouble with. When I was planning on joining the Army in high school, I reached out to a recruiter in the 9th grade and got the training exercises and started training my body. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join due to medical history, but my point is, if you want something, prepare as much as you can, especially my people who aren't good at math. You have plenty of time to get trained, just be disciplined. Good luck to everyone. Thank you for your service in advance, and thank you to everyone currently serving. I got a lot of info from a Business Insider video, and that video went more in depth and showed actual footage from the school at Fort Benning, and it will be linked in the description if you wish to watch.